Today, I'm going to show you how to light the Slow and Sear Kamado for temperatures ranging from 225 degrees Fahrenheit all the way up to 400 degrees Fahrenheit. That's low and slow, all the way to baking. And many of you are already familiar with lighting the Slow and Sear in the Weber kettle, but these processes are a little bit different because it's a different cooker. So I'm going to show you how it's done. The very first step, even before you light anything, is to set the vents for your temperature, both on the top and on the bottom. We're going to set it for 225 degrees Fahrenheit. That's about a 1. And if you're doing temperatures above 300, you're going to set both to the level of 2. Now these settings are just basic guidelines. It's going to depend on your environmental conditions. Now for me today, I live at altitude about 5,000 feet, and it's a little bit chilly, so I know for low and slow, I need to set it to about 1.5, top and bottom.
Add the water reservoir to the Slow and Sear even if you don't plan to fill it. The double walls give you more even temperatures on the direct side. If you'd like to add some wood, add 2 or 3 chunks to the bottom of the Slow and Sear.
Some of you might be wondering why we tell you to put the wood underneath the charcoal when usually we tell you to put it on top with the Slow and Sear in the kettle. The big reason for that is it acts like a time-release fuse. The Kamado takes a little bit longer to get good smoke and a good fire going as it gets up to temperature. So by putting it underneath, that charcoal starts to burn down and you get that wood smoke right about the time that you put your food on.
Next, fill 1/2 of the Slow and Sear with your favorite charcoal. Both lump and briquettes work really well. Then add a quart of boiling water to the water reservoir, but only if you plan to cook at temperatures below 300 degrees Fahrenheit. You're going to end up with about a 1/2 inch of space at the top, so don't overfill it. Place a solid fire lighter or lighter cube on top of the charcoal and light it. I'm going to wait until the smoke dies down and the coals are well lit, which will take about 10 or 15 minutes. If your Kamado takes a long time to heat up, you may not have waited long enough to get the coals going. Once they're well lit, add enough charcoal to fill the Slow and Sear, and then add the cooking grate and shut the lid. Keep in mind the dome thermometer will be about 50 degrees hotter than the cooking grates. And taking your time at this step gives your grill time to warm up slowly and get the fire hot enough to produce good, clean smoke, which is why you want to wait to adjust the vents until you're about 100 degrees Fahrenheit below your target temperature. In the end, you'll know your grill is ready when it's steady at your target temperature and the smoke is thin. All that patience and effort is starting to pay off, so add your meat and shut the lid. After several hours, you may want to refuel, and with any Kamado, if the grill is lit, slowly open the dome 2 inches and pause for 5 seconds before opening it the rest of the way. This practice avoids any flashback caused by a sudden rush of oxygen. To refuel the Slow and Sear, use the tool to move the charcoal to one corner if you're cooking low and slow. For temperatures above 300, move the coals around and remove the ash, and then leave them in an even layer. Then fill the remaining space with unlit charcoal and shut the lid.
So why would you want to use one Kamado setup over the other? Well, the Slow and Sear setup has several advantages. Traditional Kamados are very efficient, and at low and slow temperatures, they often have a slow, smoldering fire. We learned in the Good Smoke video that smoldering wood results in poor combustion and acrid smoke. Now the Slow and Sear solves this problem in 2 different ways. Number 1, with the Slow and Sear, the fire is higher up and some of that heat escapes through the top vent before reaching the food. That requires a hotter fire to maintain the same temperature. Number 2, the water reservoir in the Slow and Sear will produce steam for several hours. That steam enhances the smoke flavor and absorbs a lot of heat. It takes a lot of heat to keep that steam going and requires a bigger fire. A hot fire produces good smoke and a smoldering fire won't, and you can taste the difference. So why would you use the traditional Kamado cooking method? The Slow and Sear has a great capacity using the charcoal level grate, the standard cooking grate, as well as the elevated cooking grate. The traditional Kamado method lets you use the entire 22-inch cooking grate, and that could come in handy if you're cooking a big piece of meat, like a 20-pound spatchcock turkey. Now, let's light the Slow and Sear Kamado using the traditional method.
This method is similar to the Slow and Sear lighting procedures. Adjust the vents top and bottom to match your target temperature. If desired, add 2 or 3 small chunks of wood to the cast iron grate. Then cover them with lump charcoal or low ash briquettes. Add the stainless steel charcoal grate to check if you've overfilled the ceramic fire bowl. Now this is a quick cook, so there's plenty of space. Use a fire lighter cube and place it on top of the charcoal, and then light it with a long nose lighter. Add the stainless steel charcoal grate, then a water pan, and then the heat diffuser if you'd like to use them. Add your cooking grate and take a minute to set up your cooking grate temperature probes before things get hot. Wait until the fire is well lit, which should take 10 or 15 minutes, and then close the lid. When the grill is about 100 degrees Fahrenheit below your target temperature, adjust the vents to reach and maintain your target temp. You'll be cooking in no time.
And now you know 2 different ways to light the slow and sear Kamado for low and slow all the way up to baking and roasting temperatures, both with using the slow and sear and the traditional Kamado methods. Now soon we're going to make a video that'll show you how to do the high temperature cooking, and when it's ready I'm going to put it right up here so you can check that out too. Master these lighting techniques and you'll be well on your way to seeing why 2 zones are better than 1.